Welcome to Talk Like a Mother, Parenting Autism Podcast. We are Jenn, Kim, Rachel, and Jaimie. Take a seat at our table as we share with hope, humor, and honesty.
Hello, thank you for joining us for our Storyteller episode. We're going to be talking about moms and mental health to go with our Waving the White Flag series. We hope you enjoy. We each did a piece this week for this Storytellers.
Motherhood's Hidden Struggles by Jaime Ramos. When I think of mothers and mental health, a whirlwind of images and emotion flood my mind. I envision that mom dancing with her toddler on a Monday afternoon, sipping wine and trying to rediscover herself. I see a mom pacing the floor in the dead of night, exhausted and overwhelmed by the demands of a crying child. I see so many moms mourning the pain of their children, the fears of their children. I see moms who turn away, who leave, give up, moms I can't fully understand. But as a mother, I can see the overwhelm mixed with mental health that can take someone to the depths of hard, to making those decisions that so many judge and say things like, how could a mother do that? How could a mother leave? How could a mother hurt her child? I understand those judgments. They pass through my mind as well. I also think, why didn't anyone help that mom? Motherhood is made up of extremes for women at many levels, from moments of pure joy to depths of despair. When someone becomes a mother, mental health struggles they've had before can be amplified. For myself, I take on my children's struggles. I even project how I feel they could be struggling. Motherhood raises the stakes. In my journey, those stakes have been raised even higher by my son's autism and my daughter's blood disease. Those take it to a whole other planet of worry and fear that I have never known before. And I know other mothers have higher stakes. But no matter the stakes, no matter the person, every mother's mental health struggles matter. It is not a competition. To dive deeper into the complexities, motherhood is often romanticized. It's portrayed as a natural instinct where women effortlessly nurture and care for their children. Yet the reality is far from that ideal image. Pregnancy, childbirth, and the following years of parenting are challenging, and many of us underestimated that. As a mother myself, I've grappled with the internal turmoil of feeling simultaneously protective and inadequate. It's that relentless mother bear instinct battling against the crushing weight of self-doubt. We're expected to know what we're doing, to exude confidence in our maternal abilities. But the truth is, many of us are silently struggling. We need to challenge the stigma surrounding maternal mental health. We need to recognize that it's okay to not have all the answers, to feel overwhelmed, to ask for help. We need to admit we're vulnerable. That doesn't diminish our strength as mothers, but it can amplify our resilience and teach our children that it's okay to ask for help. We must create a culture where mothers feel empowered to prioritize their mental well-being. This means fostering open dialogue, providing resources, and taking away the shame associated with seeking help. No mother should suffer in silence. No mother should believe she's alone in her struggles. Motherhood is messy, chaotic, and beautifully imperfect. It's navigating uncharted territory with a heart full of love and a mind teeming with uncertainty. And in that lies its profound beauty. It's the messy middle where joy intertwines with pain and where vulnerability coexists with strength. Let's embrace the complexity of motherhood and mental health. Let's talk about it. We need to shatter the facade of perfection and embrace our shared humanity. Because by supporting one another through the lows and highs, we are not only nurturing our own well-being, but also cultivating a brighter and more compassionate world for future generations. Motherhood and Fear by Jenn Dunn.
When I think of motherhood and mental health and what I would have thought they meant together is anything but what I experience. I think all moms experience things differently and many things that are the same. But when my daughter was diagnosed with severe autism, my entire being changed. I've often said I've fundamentally changed as a person, and that of course has also affected my mental health. I plummet sometimes into the future and that deep worry that comes with what happens to your child when you're gone. I worry about who will care for her. I know there isn't another person on this earth that can care or love her as much as I do. That has affected my mental health. It keeps me up at night. It makes me worry about finances on a level most will never understand. Of course, parents worry about all of their children. And of course, parents worry about their children's future. But what most parents don't worry about is their 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old and on walking into oncoming traffic, opening doors to strangers, not being able to care for their own bodies. These are the things that affect my mental health. The worry that I have for my daughter's future brings me to my knees, it keeps me up at night, and it has aged me a tremendous amount. But finding other people that walk the same path as me, Jaimie, Kim, Rachel, Tabitha, Kate, all of our friends, Bree, we are so lucky. Our listeners, so many people relate to our struggles because they are also walking this path. So motherhood and mental health go hand in hand, I think, for all moms, but for moms with special needs children, it's taken to a level some have the privilege of never understanding.
Disconnected by Kimberly McIsaac.
At times I feel disconnected. Disconnected from my family, disconnected from my husband, my own children. I love them, of course, but sometimes it feels like life is just moving around you and you are staying still. I want to feel happy, but I don't. I don't feel the joy I usually feel. I feel tired, just mentally exhausted. The days go by fast, and I feel myself wanting to grab a hold of one and enjoy, but I can't. I have time where it lifts and I come out and play for a short time, but then I retreat back. You can't see it. You can't hear it. You wouldn't know it if you were around me. I feel guilty for these feelings, as I have so much to be grateful for. When everyone is cheerful and happy, and everywhere you look, there are picture-perfect families. When you can't shake the feeling, no matter how hard you try. Depression is real and it's dark. It's not about being sad or crying into your pillow. It's about not being able to feel. Feeling like you are under a dark cloud that you can't get out from. It's going through the motions. Life is tough sometimes. Marriage, kids, teenagers, autism, finances, work, balancing it all. It can be very overwhelming. And this on top of it makes you feel like you're suffocating. To cry would be a relief because you would feel. It's no one's fault. It just is. You can't just cheer up or snap out of it. Thank you for the suggestion, though. I live with anxiety, not just any anxiety, generalized anxiety, panic disorder, and PTSD. And it is horrible at times, but I silently pray for it because at least I can feel. You have to find a way to put one foot in front of the other, or to just put your head up. It's okay to feel this way, but don't let the tears silently fall by yourself. Let someone or something help. Pick up the phone and talk to someone. Say it out loud, even though you just want to isolate. Depression does not make you weak. It takes so much strength to fight it, to go through the motions, to push through, even the times you can't. And sometimes you need help. It might be in the form of medication or a therapist. It could be a loved one or a friend. But talk about it. Talk to someone and do not carry it alone. Even though it's so hard to reach out, it will help. It's okay to not be okay. As a special needs mom, there is a huge responsibility on you to be okay, to be strong, to fight, to live forever. But sometimes you have to take care of you. As hard as that is, you have to take a breath and help yourself.
For the Mom I Missed by Rachel Flanagan.
My birth mom's name was Christine Ann Smith. When she was born, she was a king. When she died, she was still my hero. She was beautiful, and I have heard that she had charisma and charm. I can tell you that she had migraines and allergies because I asked. I've even seen some of her handwriting. It's beautiful. I know that she was a hairdresser. She also worked in medical records. I know that she had 2 more children after placing me for adoption, and they are absolutely amazing. They have both built beautiful lives and learned lessons without the help of their mom. They are resilient and tough. I suppose I could ask them anything. The thing is, it's not always the stuff that you'd ask that you seemingly want to know. I wish I knew how she moved her hands when she spoke. I wish I could hear her voice. My birth mom died of suicide 25 years ago. I wouldn't find out until the day after my 19th birthday, almost 3 years after she passed. I wish I had the opportunity to meet her as an adult. My heart is always with those that got to know her and love her and celebrate the vigor that she once had for life. I'm sure she's looking down, wishing that she could bring more comfort to those hurting. My advice is that if you have a mom, you should call her. If you have a dad, you should call him. If your parents have passed, stay thankful and know in your heart that they are watching you. If you have a birth mother, be grateful. If you are a birth mother, I'm grateful. And surely I'm not the only one. If you're struggling with issues of mental health, remember you are not alone, and please find help. If you're in the darkest place of life and all you have is a plan and fear, message me. I'll help you find help. I was born a helper. I have no problem calling for more support, and I will not leave you alone. I have struggled in this way, and I'm here, perhaps to help you. As a person living with clinical depression with suicidal ideation, and given my health history, I need to stay aware of my own mental illness on the daily. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not, but I lean on those closest to me. I've made a promise to reach out when it gets too dark to find my way. I hope that you're doing the same. In honor of my birth mom and in an effort to break stigma, I'm also going to share a story about myself, about mental health. Thanks for listening.
My 100% Survival Rate by Rachel Flanagan.
Before I share this story, which was written in November of 2023, I want to say that right now I'm doing pretty well. I'm safe, and I'm still working on that 100% survival rate. This post was written the day before I ended up going to the hospital for inpatient help. Because even in my darkest spot, I knew that I could help someone by sharing. Here is the story. I wish I was doing better than I am. Currently, I'm just surviving. This week, I raised the flag again, moving through my crisis plan and working through the dangerous space I'm coming out of. I spent the night with my closest friend, a woman that has known me better than I have for a good while. I explained via text earlier in the day that I had been trying each hour to be a little bit safer, a little bit calmer, and more in control of my depression. But honestly, I was losing. And because of the prior time in October that I dealt with this, I was terrified. Up until those text messages went out, I was letting the people closest to me know that I wasn't doing great. But nobody was getting the depth of despair I found myself in because it's terribly embarrassing to acknowledge that I'm sinking rapidly. There are the other parts too. There's stigma that says not even being able to control my own feelings and saying that I'm struggling as often as I have seems like an ugly cry for attention. It's not. Stigma that a person would follow through with the act if they were going to, so this must just be an oversized reaction to something that should be easy to manage. It's not. There's a thought that if people knew how bad I was doing, they'd assume that I can't be a great mom, when really being a great mom was the only thing that I was doing well, and my days with her were the things keeping me fighting for tomorrows. I've been fighting for balanced medication for longer than I can remember. I've been sharing about how bad it is since 2018. I have read countless books, spoken to people that know far more than I, and people that have made their way through a similar journey that I'm on. One paved with isolation in the midst of friendship, family, grief, love, loss, learning, parenting, special needs, adoption, and more. It's just that at the root, I have a chemical imbalance that talking alone won't change. I have a health history, as you've heard, steeped in mental illness with the worst possible outcomes. Even perspective and trying to break generational patterns can't make the truth of depression in my soul lessen. I could spend days analyzing that my past is full of friendships that I somehow messed up, family I've withdrawn from, and so many questions, all leading to a realization that I thought I was loving, lovable, and worthy of unconditional, but I just must be wrong. Somehow I must be so flawed that even those close to me don't care eventually. This week, it's as though my depression told my sinking spirit that if my daughter's dad can do life with her as he has been, then maybe I should just bounce forever. I thought to myself again and again, maybe this is the week that I end the struggle. I'm so tired of disappointing everyone that used to care. And then I sent the text message. I was following my crisis plan. Within minutes, my cousin, a bestie, and an auntie were all checking in and making plans for their arrival at my house. They arranged their check-in on the Rachy shifts and reminded me to breathe. When my cousin arrived and through the hours that she spent with my fragile heart, she reminded me the only trash thing that I'm doing is forgetting that I am worthy, that I am love in action, and that I am already a survivor. She reminded me that these problems are real and very hard to cope with. She told me that we need a multifaceted approach to make the difference. Not just meds, not just good juju, not audiobooks and a plan. I would need the whole damn thing, firing at once. She reminded me that I'm capable of getting such a thing done. I have before, even if for Sealy. And there is nothing that should stand in the way of building this for myself. My dad called. He told me that everyone is here. I just haven't been noticing. He and I set our date for our next visit, and I confirmed that I would reach out and schedule with a therapist by the time that we got to our hug on Tuesday. I'm in the fight for my life. I must just have forgotten to stand tall in the battle for a moment. I just got lost and turned around. Just telling the people closest has allowed the light to come in. So I thought I would share that for now, I'm okay. Even If you think of me just as the fun or funny one, or if you didn't know that I was struggling, I'm okay now. Thank goodness I found my crisis plan and started the steps. This has been the worst week in a while, but it's another in the books, 100% survival rate. In conclusion of this story, I want to share again that the next day I went to the hospital, checked myself in for my own safety, and I began treatment for my depression. We tweaked my meds. We got me set up with more support. I learned more skills. And I eventually went to an outpatient program for just about 3 weeks, where, as I've shared through this series, I learned all these same tricks that I've been doing for my daughter for years. Anyhow, I hope that this message of mine and my birth mom's helps you to feel validated if you're walking a path similar to ours. I encourage you to reach out for help or find me.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week for our No Res episode.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Talk Like a Mother Parenting Autism podcast. If you are enjoying our podcast, make sure to rate and review us wherever you listen. And if you'd like to support us, you can become a subscriber. Just check out the description of this episode. Give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram for more content, and we'll see you next time.